4B, civility statement. Our civility statement will be read by our student representative.
Understand the counterproductive effects of disruptive, demeaning, and intimidating behaviors. Understand and respect district policies and procedures. Maintain a respect for the rich history of the district and the efforts of others who have served in the past.
All right, I'll go ahead and just start in the order that they were given. If you want to make a public comment, please submit a request to speak to the Board of Trustees. Card located on the exhibit table for any agendized or non-agendized items to the superintendent prior to the meeting. If you'd still like to speak, you may still turn in a public comment card to Ms. McCauley. Not more than 3 minutes are allotted to any one speaker and no more than 20 minutes on the same subject. This portion of the agenda is for comments, recognitions, and reports to the board and is not intended to be a question and answer period. If you have questions for the board, please provide the board president with a written copy and an administrator will provide answers at a later date. I do have 2 from Tracy Costin, but it looks like it's 2 different things. So We'll start with community.
So I'm coming as a concerned parent, as there is, I don't know if I should keep it for High Desert, but High Desert also has issues with lights and things. But my concern is the cameras. I've had issues with my children as well, with one of my sons, and that supposedly a tree was blocking the view from the camera, so why don't we install better cameras? I'm all for it even in high school. If our kids cannot be safe, if these children keep on doing it over and over again, why don't we have better cameras that are in every angle, so maybe they'll think about it twice before they do something, and maybe we could get down to the bottom of it and really do something about the ones who are really assaulting other students. And I'm concerned because my niece was assaulted, and so was her friend, and it's very disturbing to watch. The video as a parent, and also as an aunt, I was very upset. So there has to be something that needs to be done. And I'm not saying, I'm not blaming the kids, I know your hands are tied also, but there needs to be something done. As far as the cameras, maybe making these kids aware, they're in high school. They're gonna move on already. We need to, kids cannot thrive in that kind of situation. If they're being bullied, if they're fearful, who can thrive in that kind of environment? And our concern needs to be with those that are really causing problems. They really need to, knowing that cameras are there, there's going to be consequences to what you're doing before you do it. So I think it would at least help. And I'm for the cameras. In any way, any parent who's against it, I just want to make sure for the kids' safety. And I know that you guys are doing a great job doing your best, but that's just my suggestion. As a parent and as an aunt of somebody who has been assaulted just recently. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Next speaker is Damian Narciso.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Damian Narciso. I'm a parent at Vasquez High School. Yesterday, my daughter was attacked by 3 students. I am very concerned about the safety of my daughter, especially because the school is trying to manage this as a regular fight, and it was not a regular fight, it was an attack. Good thing we have a video from a student, not from the school, and that was the only way we could prove that they were attacked. The school were trying to keep it as a fight, and it was not. Even the other parent called the police, and the school was not cooperating with the police. Today I emailed the video to the police who is doing the investigation, and his first impression was that, all this is settled, we cannot do anything because this is just a regular fight. Your daughter's friend is initiating this fight, and if you want to get some other problems, we can take charges to all the students, but you should not do that. That was his first impression. After I sent the video, he changed everything, and now he's gonna help us. At least I don't want nothing bad to happen to the other students, but at least to recognize that there is a problem. And I'm really concerned about the safety of my daughter. If this happen inside the school, this could happen again. And I don't know if the school is gonna, if they don't do anything, if they're gonna take full responsibility for the safety of my daughter. That's all I want to say, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. And Chad Wadsworth. Can you just please state your name for the record?
Chad Wadsworth, student, or father of a student at Vasquez High School. Good evening. I hope you guys are all well. I'm coming in today on behalf of your customers, students at Vasquez High School, and the concern over the fighting that we've had on that campus since the beginning of the school year. This is the second major fight we've had at Vasquez this year. The topic of security has come up more than once about having adequate security at our schools. Our security that we have there is not adequate. When I can watch a 1 minute and 12-minute video, and not until 50 seconds into the video does a security guard happen to stumble in and fall over to try to break up 4 girls who are fighting, which ultimately turned into probably 6 or 8 kids, everybody trying to get their licks in that brawl. It's unacceptable. It is completely unacceptable to not have a safe campus, and it's getting to a point where it's negligent. Because it's been brought up, not once, but twice, but 3 times by me personally on these videos. We can go back and we can find it. And the responsibility lies within this building and all of you sitting on that board and that diocese. We need adequate security. We need more security. If that means adding 2 more security officers that are better trained, then that's what we need to do. One needs to be placed at each corner of the facility so that when there are breaks and kids are moving around, there's not the opportunities for kids to get jumped, then that's what we need to do. Because it is completely unacceptable to see 4 young ladies get into complete melee and strangling each other, and then have Miss Lundquist come out and break it up, which we all know she shouldn't be doing either. That's not her job. It's not healthy for her. Why does she have to get involved? She's the only one in a minute and 1 minute and 12 seconds that shows up that actually try to interact and get the kids to break up. Other than a couple male students that eventually came over and said, come on, stop, stop, stop. It's unacceptable. I'm sorry. And I'm here only as a voice to the community because I hear about it all the time. It's like everybody out here feels like nothing's happening. It's just falling on deaf ears. You have a generic security company that probably doesn't have any adequate training with how to deal with youth when they're fighting, or how to break it up, or what's the legality of all of that. Let's get some talent in our district that can help keep our kids safe. Because there are plenty of other females on the campus that do not feel safe. There are males on the campus that do not feel safe. The big priority is making sure there's only 2 students going into the bathroom at a time so they're not either vaping and getting high. You know, my priority in my life for my kid is that he's safe when he goes to school, and along with his friends and colleagues. That's what matters. So please address it. Address the issue. Get more security guards.
Kill that.
Get more security guards in there to make your customers feel secure. Make the parents feel that their kids are secure. Because if not, your customers are going to go to other districts. People talk about it all the time. I love the school district, I love the school, and I love everything it has to offer. We have the best teachers, we have the best staff, we have the best everything going at that high school. But if people don't feel safe, they're gonna go somewhere they do. I know I'm past my time, if I can just, a couple. Thank you, Ms. Lundquist, for jumping in there. You're a saint for doing that. We need a principal at the district, at Vasquez. Mr. Sparks can't do it all. Sparks cannot do it all on his own. He's busy, he's got a million things going on, he's trying to help kids, he's trying to keep things on the right track. We need a principal there full-time, along with the TOSUB students, to keep the train on the tracks. And the last thing I want to touch on is paper. I don't know why we got rid of paper, but I've heard from multiple students that it was a big help to them. It was great for them to get tutoring when they couldn't go to their teacher. So I don't know if there's another way, another method, another program to get in there, but it was a great program to have. I thank you guys for your time.
Thank you. 7A, Ada representative.
So we had 6 comment cards?
That was all for the comment cards. Was there anybody else that? I didn't miss anybody, did I?
Ada's not making a comment tonight.
Okay, thank you, and hello.
Hello.
I appreciate you being here, even if you're not making a comment. 7B, CSEA representative. We do not have one. Tonight, 7C, student representative to the board. Ms. Aislinn?
Thank you. So I'll start with Meadowlark, as usual. Meadowlark has a student awards assembly scheduled on November 6th at the Acton campus and November 7th at the Meadowlark campus. So those will be, I'll look forward to presenting those awards at our December meeting. Country line dancing family night was said to be a blast. Lots of families attended and had a great time. There was a red ribbon week that was full of spirit, and it ended the week with a BMX bike show, which seems fun. The TK classrooms have had a lot of visitors with firefighters, sheriffs, and their horses, and a veterinarian to teach kids about different career paths and first responders. And the student council is now up and running, and they're making a costume ball for Halloween, though I do believe that has passed. For High Desert, the Hawk highlights is first Mr. Rowland for his positive, inclusive practices to make every student on campus feel welcome. Then Max Davis for showing responsibility and respect for all. Jackie Herta for striving to be her best, showing tendency and determination to achieve and do great work at school. Jasmine Hernandez for being compassionate, caring, and diligent with all of her assignments. Olivia Bacon for having a positive attitude, always doing her best and supporting others around her to be successful. And Emma Bailey for being helpful, positive, and encouraging for everyone around her. They had their first dodgeball tournament, and it was said to be a huge success. All schools were represented by teams from different sites, which brought together a lot of unity. They would like to thank their HDS Booster Club president, Karina Bailey, for coming up with the idea and then making the event possible. Medal of Honor Day, which Monday and Tuesday during AVID, 8th grade students served as mentors to the 5th and 6th grade classes to discuss Medal of Honor core values and how those values are represented in the design of challenge coins. Then students designed their own challenge coins to represent the values that are important to them. The 8th grade Museum of Tolerance field trip is on December 14th. Students are going to be learning about the Holocaust and will be reading the Diary of Anne Frank coming up in their English classes. It will help them learn about the importance of respecting others. For athletics, the cross-country boys and girls teams both finished in 4th place. Medal winners were Cole Steve, placed 3rd for boys division, Addison Walker placed 8th, and Alexis Van Ornum placed 9th in the girls division. This year, their cross-country team had the most runners out of all the seasons so far. And they would like to thank their coaches, Erica Alhart and John Sanchez, for a great season. Flag football has started at High Desert and is hosting games on their new field. They'd like to thank AADUSD for making the new field possible for the students. The games will be held on Tuesday at High Desert during the month of November and December. 5th and 6th grade will have their first Turkey Bowl invitational game on November 15th. And they would like to invite the school board to come and cheer on the Hawks. For our Vasquez, I'm sure it's been going around that our yearbook last year was awarded an award of excellence, showing out of 300 schools across the country, we were one that showed excellence in our publication and our journalism for our last year's book, which our verbal theme was Through You. And I had the honor of working on that with a few of other students, and we're really proud of the accomplishment. The newspaper has had their 4th publication, not including a special edition that was done for the Halloween season. We hope to continue to publish throughout the school year. Fall sports are now over, so winter sports are gearing up.
I'm deeply concerned with you. 22 years of law enforcement, and that video was disturbing. To the victims, sorry that happened to you. And to the parents, sorry that you had to come home and see your daughter that was assaulted at school. We don't send our children to school to be assaulted. Safety is important to me. And I tell you this, after having a conversation with Dr. Sahakian, I'm confident that the strategies moving forward are going to mitigate some of the risks involved. But we're going to continue to work on this process, okay? Because this is unacceptable. If that happened to my daughter, I would be furious, furious. So I feel your pain and I feel your concerns. And as a board member, I'm going to work with my colleagues and Dr. Sahakian to increase security. All those ideas that you guys mentioned were great. And that's the kind of engagement we need, right? The cameras, you know, the increase the security. And being in law enforcement, I know that one security officer is not going to break up a fight of 4 people. That's not going to happen. Even on my job, out there on the streets, if there's a big fight going on, one officer is not going to stop that many people fighting. So we have to increase our deterrence. We have to increase the people that are on campus watching and monitoring. We have to increase surveillance. That was a great point you mentioned. So I feel your concerns and I feel your pain, because I would be furious. That's all.
So thank you everybody for coming in again, for sharing your comments. And this is something we hope never happens. This high school, this district, we've lived here 18 years, going on 18 years, I think. And this never ever, in the early years when our kids started in Meadowlark and they went through it, this is not something that was in our consciousness. And we don't want to see it grow and grow and grow and grow. So when you guys come in here and you say it's unacceptable, yes, it's unacceptable. I've not been here that long, but I can see that the problem is growing and we're responsible. This board, this district, this management, it's our job to make sure your kids are safe at school. So I had a lot of questions, you know, obviously that video was horrific. And the questions that we ask, you know, are, you know, who are these security guards? What's their training? What are they supposed to do? What can they do? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and there's going to be a heck of a lot of work put into this to make sure this never happened. You know, I know there's some things that the superintendent's going to elaborate on at some point for improvements in security and structure, and I don't know when that's going to happen, but I hope it's soon, when it's still relevant. So everybody who has concerns, we have the same concerns, and Mr. Wadsworth, this is not going to get ignored. And kids should not get pummeled at school. And they should not get pummeled for a minute. And I don't know what happened before that video, and I don't know what happened to that after that video, but the video itself is enough to tell us that we need to do better. So I appreciate everybody coming in, and we'll be working on this. And if, you know, keep coming, keep telling us your thoughts and things you'd like to see. It's important, because there's a lot of ways that we can do this. We don't want to make the school into a military zone, and we don't want to make the school into a jail, but we want to make it safe. So your input is important, and you know, I listen, your colleagues are going to listen, And there's going to be a lot of work put into this, so I appreciate you all coming in.
Yeah, thank you for coming in. You know, like yourself, I'm a community member. I have kids that go to the schools. I would never want to see my kid involved in something like that at any level. And I appreciate you coming in. I can only imagine how you feel about all this. I know how I felt watching the video. Like Tom said, we asked a lot of questions tonight, and I think, as Mr. Days has said, we're confident in the plan that we heard, and I hope this never happens again. And I know we're going to do everything we can to make sure that that's true, or do everything we can to make sure that it's close to true as possible. Thank you.
You good?
Yeah, I'm going to say the stuff that's thank you. I'm going to say the stuff I normally say. I want to thank the students of this district. I'm proud of you for your academic, athletic, and extracurricular achievements. I want to thank and let staff know that I'm proud of you for the way you support those students. And I thank my board colleagues for the positive support they give to the students, the staff, and the superintendent of the district. First off, Mr. Wadsworth is not a stranger to these issues. He sat on the board and gave this community his service, and he is familiar in that room back there where stuff has come up and difficult decisions are made, and has himself been put in a position of having to try to figure out from service up here what that looks like and feels like. So he's no stranger. He's felt the reality of this himself, so thank you for coming in. What I do want to say is it is National School Psychologist Week, and my experience is in situations, psychologists have a duty to their own profession that supersedes who their employer is, what people tell them to do or not do. It's kind of like a Hippocratic oath. And it's my experience that school psychologists are left to perform in a way that honors the oath they take without some kind of influence of, you know, administrator, oh, look this way, or somebody that doesn't take the behavioral stuff seriously. I think there's a link between campus health for the school psychologist and what's going on on the campus. So I didn't mean to make it that serious, but school psychologists out there everywhere, thank you, and I honor you this week. I'm going to be calling about this young lady. This pains me. There's nothing I can say. I have a child at that school that would not know that she would be attacked. She would not know what's happening while she's being attacked. And if you're not safe, she's not safe. I don't know what to say. All this, whatever we're telling you and all this, it means nothing. Nothing we can do to fix that. I don't like that. Where I come from, when you've caused someone to fear for their safety, you are committing assault. Assault is not hitting someone. Assault is causing someone to fear for their safety. Their safety can be a number of things. It can be physical safety, it can be reputational safety. So, I don't know what to do. I know what my parents would do. I wasn't big enough to assault anyone, but I know what my parents would do. Sir, I appreciate your patience. I don't know what I would do. But I appreciate you guys. I don't know what to say to fix it. I do want to read this into the record. This went out to all the parents at Vasquez High School from our administrator over there. Dear parents and guardians, I hope this message finds you well. We want to inform you about an incident that occurred on our campus recently. We want to assure you that we're actively addressing the situation to ensure the safety and well-being of our students. And I'm going to preface before I got this, I don't mean this to be an insult to you. I'm making everyone in the record understand the commitment that the administrator over there has. She has the best interest of all kids over there. Mr. Sparks is right there at her side on a daily basis running campus. Don't be confused about that, please. On 11/8/2023, a physical altercation took place on campus involving a group of students. This incident was promptly addressed by staff and security personnel who entered behind the scenes. If you are threatening people verbally and causing them to fear for their safety, you are committing assault. When you lay your hands on someone, now we're way past assault, now we're at battery. Do not assault, whether you are an adult, an administrator, a teacher, a parent, or a student. Do not commit assault and do not commit battery. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you know. I want you arrested. I was raised by a maximum security guard, prison guard, as my stepfather. He had no room for any of this kind of stuff. I feel strongly about this. Again, my daughter would not know that she's safe or not. She wouldn't know what was happening to her, and she certainly wouldn't understand what happened. Young lady, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. Please, ma'am.
I'm going to start by saying if I, as a mom, if it were appropriate for me to give you a hug and to give your parents a hug, I would come down and give you a hug. I just, like my colleagues have said, I'm sorry, and there is no way for us to go back in time and make it right for all of you. When I was in 7th grade, I went to High Desert. The girls' bathroom that's inside the NPR, I was locked in the girls' bathroom and I was jumped by 5 girls. Nobody came. Nobody came to help me. When they were done beating me up, they opened the bathroom door and they left. And I got suspended because I was the one that told. There was no proof that they beat me up except for what I looked like. So there was no proof that they did any wrongdoing. So I know what it's like to feel unsafe where you go to school. I know what it's like to have to show up after something like that and having everybody asking you questions. I'm sure the texts and the videos and all of that going around makes everything very uncomfortable, and I am so sorry for everybody involved. If I could change it, I would. I'm going to read something that I said. It was not as a board member, it was as an employee, as the CACA union president, and this was in February of 2021. It was not recently, but these were my comments that I made in February of 2021 when the district chose to lay off our security guard. And this is just a little snippet of my full comments. My comments to the board that night, I said the board will be voting on laying off 4 classified employees for 6 classified positions, as well as several certificated positions. Every single position that is being cut is someone who has a direct relationship with our students. I cannot imagine a world in which choosing to cut these positions sounded like a good idea, but I assure you, as someone who is literally on the front lines with our students, it is not. What school district operates with 0 security guards? Can you show me another district in our area that does not employ a single librarian? And I go on to fight for our layoffs of counselors. The board essentially voted, not unanimously, but voted to go ahead and go through with those layoffs. And since then, we have been able to bring back our counselors. I believe our PE program at High Desert, our aide was laid off. I believe that position was brought back, filled, taken care of. The positions that have not been brought back from those layoffs is our security guard and our librarians. And there's nobody doing those jobs adequately. And that's not fair. It's not fair to our students, and it's not fair to our other staff. It is not fair. We need to bring back our security guard, and I know that this discussion is not about librarians, but we need to bring back our librarians, and I've said it several times as a board member. I will continue to fight, even if I'm not a board member in the future. Security, librarians, counselors, we don't lay these people off. We don't lay these people off in order to fix the budget. Mr. Falsgraf read the letter from Dr. Chamberlain, which was very well written, and I appreciate it. But when I was reading the letter, my question was, where's the follow-up going to be? So I have asked Dr. Sahakian in front of our fellow board members. I have asked Dr. Sahakian for follow-up when Dr. Chamberlain in her letter writes, we will be increasing staff presence during high traffic times. I have asked for proof of that. I have asked for what that looks like. I have asked Dr. Sahakian to provide to the board what it looks like to increase staff during high traffic times. Where will they be? Who will it be? How many will it be? Will they be trained? Number 2 of the letter to the community said, we will conduct educational sessions and workshops on conflict resolution and appropriate behavior. I would like a follow-up to that, and I've asked Dr. Sahakian to follow up to that. I don't need it just written in a letter to the community and everything's lollipops and rainbows. I need the follow-up. I need to make sure that what we promised our community by putting it in writing and putting it out to our community is actually being done. I want to see the results. It says we will be providing additional support and training for our supervisory staff during high traffic times. I want to know what training. What training are we giving our supervisory staff? And it needs to be immediate. Sure, the NCI training is great, but we can't wait for December. We can't wait for January. We need it done on Monday. We need those people trained before break time on Monday. We cannot leave our campuses in the care of untrained staff. So I want to thank you for your comments. I did not know that our cameras are blocked by trees. That's something new. So thank you very much for giving us to follow up on. I definitely appreciate you all being here. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your bravery. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and move on to lighter subjects, and I don't mean to make light of this subjects, but I am going to move on. I was able to attend the Women's Club luncheon. They always do a fantastic job of honoring community members. They honored the Friends of Acton Park, which was amazing to watch. I got to sit at the table with Mrs. Margaret Gonder and her husband, and I spent a couple hours just chit-chatting. And if you have never been lucky enough to be in the presence of such an amazing woman, you're definitely missing out. She was the most fantastic boss and fantastic principal I have ever worked under. She was my elementary school principal. She was my first adult boss. Such an incredible mentor, such a beautiful human being, and just so much class and so much poise in one person. And I just wanted to brag about the fact that I got to sit at the table with Mrs. Gonder. She's just phenomenal. So I also wanted to thank the Women's Club for their donations to our schools. They give so much and they work so hard throughout the year raising money just to give it back to our community, and they do donate quite a bit to our schools. and they donate quite a bit back to scholarships for our seniors. And I just want to publicly thank our Women's Club for being so dedicated to our community. So thank you very much for that. I was able to attend the Antelope Valley School Board Association dinner last night. I sat with the Wasona School District board and superintendent. It's always great to go out and meet with other school board members and administrative staff throughout the Antelope Valley, just to learn how they're doing things and different aspects of the way that their boards work. The topic of the night was cybersecurity, and it was Palmdale School District that were presenting, and it was extremely informative, and it was all about technology, literacy and all that, and we kind of got a compliment. And I say kind of because they gave it to a different district, but they were talking about us. They said, your district, and they pointed to somebody who I know that this district doesn't do this, but they said, your district has where you do health one semester and you have a technology literacy class the second semester. And they said, yeah. I'm like, no, you don't. That's us. And I didn't say, but I did pat myself on the back. I had nothing to do with building that techno-lit class, but I just wanted to let you guys know that Vasquez High School did get a congratulatory good job attaboy for our techno-lit health combo class that other people don't do. So we got an attaboy for that, so thank you. And that is it for my...
Cycle one more time.
Sure. Would you like to cycle?
No.
I have a Margaret Gonder story. Love Margaret Gonder. When I moved to town,
Nutrition Cooperative Joint Powers Agreement Amendment. Can I get a motion?
I'll move.
Thank you. We're seeking approval to the updated amendments to the PINCO JPA agreement. There's new language that's been added. Mr. Vensko has details to the added language to this agreement.
Good evening, board members. So just a little background. PINCO is a JPA with a bunch of districts, Antelope Valley, Bakersfield area, that help us get better pricing for our school food nutrition programs. So we're a member district, and so tonight they are bringing some adjustments to the JPA agreement. Sorry, I had them written down, and some of the major highlights really are that they're reducing the quorum from 40 to 25%, removing electronic voting, and then just updating some formatting and spelling. So this is, again, it's kind of in the details, but we have to approve this at the board level before they can approve it at the JPA level. If there's any further questions, I'm here.
Discussion? Question? Just one request, and I did talk to Dr. Sahakian about this when we brought it up. When we're talking about voting, I just want to make sure that we're sending representation from our district. So, and he assured me that we do, so thank you for that. Call for question, all those in favor?
Jesus, aye.
Aye. Matt Scott, aye.
Falls Chef, aye.
Brianna Taxoni, aye. 12B, Resolution 2023-24.11, declaring unusable, obsolete, or no longer needed equipment. Can I get a motion?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Mr. Vensko?
Yes, so tonight we have our resolution to declare surplus or unusable, obsolete. This is necessary before we can dispose of these types of assets, so we request the board's approval for that. So this way the community and the board knows before we're just throwing away useful things.
Discussion?
No. Recycling, not throwing away?
If possible, yes. We, like I said, for these ones, we've determined that they're completely obsolete, not worth, we've had even professionals come out and look and see that they're not.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth the effort, but they can be dropped at Alameda Metals in Palmdale and they'll pay you for them.
Yeah, we
like
do,
that?
yeah, when we do have like electronic waste, we usually go to the electronic waste. If there are metals, we do recycle it through that, so that there's a little bit of a sum and back at least for something. So thank you.
Good.
Okay, call for question, all those in favor?
Jesus, aye.
Aye.
Mask on.
Bojai, aye.
Brianna Texoni, aye. Thank you. 13A calendar, we have a regular board meeting December 14th, 2023. We do not have another board meeting in November due to the Thanksgiving holiday. We do only have the December 14th board meeting in December due to the Christmas holidays. Regular board meeting January 25th, 2024, and we only have the one board meeting in January, correct? Okay, so December 14th, January 25th, and then we will be back on our 2-meeting-a-month schedule. 14A, future agenda items. We have strategic plan presentation. Do we have anything else that we need to add to future agenda items?
Not necessarily future agenda, but maybe superintendent's report, we can specifically zero in on security developments. Every superintendent's report, kind of where we're going with additional resources and that kind of thing. Thank you.
Any other additions? Okay, 15A, adjournment. It's recommended the board adjourn the meeting at 9:40. Can I get a motion?